Welcome back, folks, to the Real Connor Miller Show. This is going to be episode 7. If you're still here, wow, it's unbelievable. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for listening. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that is kind of a weird topic for me. It's a topic that I'm not really the best at. And it's going to be a little bit about loss, and it's going to be a little bit about grief. And those are two things in my life that, funny enough, I've actually never, ever experienced since I got clean. You know, in my life, when I was using, I experienced a lot of loss of people that were around me from overdoses or, you know, some drug deal gone wrong, you know, all kind of things that I've experienced with loss in that regard, but nothing in my life since I got clean. And a couple weeks ago, we had to unfortunately put one of our dogs down. It was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. That dog was literally like a family member to me. And, you know, I was very upset when it happened, obviously, but I was really, really pissed off when it first happened. And, you know, I was very pissed off when it first happened, I think, because it was like you go back to that mindset of like, why is this happening? You know, like, it's almost like that victim mode that I've talked about before on the show of like, oh, man, how could this be happening like to me right now? Like, you know, he was only 5 years old and we had so many more years. And like, these are all the things that I was thinking about. And, I had to go back and really think about some of my core values. One of those being everything happens for a reason. And then another thing being there's purpose in everything. You know, it's kind of coincides. One of the episodes previously, I talked about how there's purpose in pain. And this kind of goes along with that. There is purpose. My dog's name was Zero. And he was like the best dog ever. And I'm sure everybody says that about their dog, but it's like a totally different time when we got him in my life. I mean, I literally emptied my bank account to buy this dog, and it was all for the wrong reasons. I did it because I wanted something to feel like happy about, you know, and like I said, it definitely wasn't for the right reasons, but reflection is an amazing thing because you get to notice what happened because of a choice and what road it started to lead you down. So his name was Zero after the Nightmare Before Christmas. And when I think back and reflect on it, I have a different meaning for his name now because I got him at ground zero of my life and literally had nothing at that time. He taught me about unconditional love, something that I had never really known about in my life before. You know, I mean, your parents, they tell you they love you unconditionally and all this stuff. And at least for me, during my upbringing, it felt conditional, especially with like my father. It was like I had to perform in sports or something like that to feel that love or to feel like he was proud of me. And when you have a dog, it's like totally different. You know, you could yell and berate and everything to that dog, and like they just love you so much. And it really starts to make you examine your behavior, and it really starts to make you think, if you are a good person, like, wow, how am I acting this way towards this animal who doesn't even understand like what I'm saying? Especially when dogs are puppies, man. Like everybody gets frustrated, right? We all want to yell at the dog for taking a piss on the carpet and so on and so forth. And when you look back, it's like that dog, you were that dog's world. You know, it was like you coming home was like everything to that dog. You know, you go to the office all day, dog sits around, doesn't know what's going on. You come home and it's like full of energy, like absolute unconditional love. Like it's like you could never do something wrong. And I'll go back to the pissed off part because, you know, I was so upset because I loved that dog so much. He was like a family member to me. He was like a son to me. And I just started to really think about it a couple days after it happened and really think about like the impact that he had made in my life and the growth that I had experienced from having him. And like I said, there's purpose in everything, especially in pain. I think losing him, and funny enough, like, I don't know if it's funny, it's just, this is still such a new topic to me that I'm trying to be as vulnerable as I can with it. But what it really goes back to is an episode a few episodes back where I talked about finding a pamphlet, where the pamphlet talked about, are you living your life to the fullest before your time expires? And when I think about that pamphlet, it really makes me think about zero. And it really makes me intentionally want to live my life like it could be the last day. And even though I thought I was doing that, I wasn't. And I think it's important to have those self-reflection moments and to be able to have the awareness around what you're doing as a person and to just be able to reframe what you're thinking. Because I thought I was living my life to the fullest every single day, but I was definitely leaving some stuff on the table. And it really made me rethink my priorities. Building a business is hard. Being an entrepreneur and balancing a family life is even harder. And one of the things that I've noticed that's suffered over the last year in growth of the company has been my life at home. So ever since that happened, I mean, that was the first week that I've ever literally just taken a week off from work and not done anything and just spent all the time with my wife and my son. And it was amazing. And it really started to make me reconsider my priorities and be more intentional about leaving the office at 5 p.m. when I say I'm going to leave, and showing up for those family dinners when I say I'm going to be there, and being at that soccer practice on Saturday when I say I'm going to do it. It really made me reconsider those things. And one thing I'd like for you guys to be able to take away from this, because I would never want anybody to have to experience the feelings that I'm feeling right now, is to realize that you can rethink your priorities without having something happen that's detrimental to your life. You don't have to wait till something explodes to rethink what you're doing. You don't have to wait till something drastic happens to reconsider your priorities. That's something that you can do daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. As long as you can take that time to reflect and build that self-awareness, it's going to be really easy to get your priorities back in line. So while this event was very difficult, and I'm sure it still will be for a while, I believe that it's happened in my life to really help me reconsider my priorities and what I value as a person. Not a business owner, not an entrepreneur, not Connor that's beat heroin addiction, but just as Connor, as myself. It's really made me think about reconsidering those priorities, and I'd love for you guys to have that takeaway from this episode. So before I go, this is a topic that I know I'm not the only one that's ever struggled with. I know there's other people out there that have experienced some form of grief like this in their life. And I'd really want to just open that invitation for anyone that's listening that's struggling with that type of grief or struggling with processing something that's happened in their life as something that has purpose. If you're struggling with something like that today, my line's open. You can send me a message anywhere, whether it be Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, any of the platforms. It's all linked in the description of the episode. And I think the best way that you guys could continue to grow as people, if you like the things that I'm saying, is to subscribe to the show, because there's going to be more episodes where I have the vulnerability involved. There's going to be more episodes where I talk about things that happen in my life personally and how I've grown from them. And I'd love for you guys to be able to hear those experiences and take something away from it.